Hello lovely people, I thought I'd come and do another video about the 30 verses of encouragement packs, which I know lots of you have got, and there's still plenty more. If anybody wants one, I'll leave the link below. So the idea is that you get a kit which has this special little card, and it gives you 30 different Bible verses in 6 sections, and the idea is to make up your own little journal using the things in the kit, to use the little narrow washi tapes that you get in the kit to decorate your pages, and then to write a verse a day for 30 days or however long it takes you. And I am not doing it every day at the moment, I'm trying to do it most days, and to copy out the verses from the card on here from your Bible into your little journal, and to just take one a day and carry it around with you. And this is so pocket size, you can just take it anywhere and look at it throughout your day and just ask God what he's saying to you. And I've been writing some little notes on the back of each card about what I think God is saying to me. So these are all from the first section, which is about grace. And I've just started the second section, which is verses about God's mercy. And you can see I've been using a mixture of washi tapes and just doodling little borders. This is from the Botanicals mini sticker pack on the shop, and I've been using little bits and pieces that I had lying around at home. This is from the Flamingo selection, little tiny stickers from the shop as well. And I will leave a link below to my previous video where I showed you how I made this little page. So I've decorated the cover, and these are all things from the shop too, these little embellishments, and again I can leave the links for those, but you can use whatever you like, whatever you've got lying around at home that's the right sort of scale for the mini journal, you can use. And as I've just started the section on mercy, I'm feeling like what I really want is to make some dividers for my different sections. Now, if you're on the Facebook group, you'll have seen the gorgeous dividers that Kirsten has made, and she posted about that. And she used the tabs from the Time to Journal cover set pack, and she just put them on the right hand edges of some cards. I think she made some extra cards to go in, and she put them on the right hand edges so you can see at a glance where the mercy starts, and then the next section, which is forgiveness and joy and guidance and strength. So she's got these little dividers down the sides. I think I'm not going to tab my dividers, I'm just going to use some scrapbook paper. So I thought I would come on to the video and we could do it together. So this is the end of the verses that focus on grace, and here we've got the first of the ones that focus on mercy. So what I want is a little dividing tab to put here, and I'm just going to use some double-sided scrapbook paper, and I've got a couple of pads here. I've had these for ages, I've used loads of them. They are the first edition papers, and these pads are particularly useful for this because the second half of the pad is all double-sided papers, and I quite want a double-sider to go here. So these are some bits left over, but these are all single-sided, so I think I'm going to break out into one of these double-sided sets. I think I'll probably use some of that later on down the journal, but for now I want something that will go. I suppose I need one for grace as well, actually, and then mercy. So what's the beginning of grace looking like? That's that card there, so that would go quite nicely with that because it's going to be next to it. So right, let's start off with a divider for the grace section. So I think the easiest way to do this is just to use that card as a template. I'm not going to draw around it because sometimes the drawing actually creates inaccuracies. So what I'm going to do is just trim it. I'm just eyeballing it and trimming it with some scissors, And I'm cadging off the two existing edges, which I know are perfectly at right angles to each other because of the sheet of paper. And then I'm just going to trim around the edges. So at this point, I've got a card that's exactly the same size as that. I think it's going to go that way up, but it's got the square corners. Now, you can either just use that as a template and trim round with the scissors, but because I happen to have a corner rounder punch, I'm going to cheat. And this is a really nice one from We Are Memory Keepers with 3 different sizes of corner. So I think I'm going to start off with the smallest one. Yeah, that looks like it matches pretty nicely. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'll just put each of the 4 corners through that little punch, and that's all looking good. Now I need a hole so I can add it to the ring, and I want it to pretty much exactly match that hole. I think I'm going to have it like that. Actually, I think I'm going to have it that way up, and then when you open it up you'll have that nice flowery bit next to the verse. So in order to get that hole into the right place, there's a number of different ways of doing it. You can use an awl or a pokey tool and just put that on some plasticine or some blue tack, and then you can use this as a guide and poke through, but that's going to make a bit of a mess. Or you can use a kind of crocodile tool, and I do have one of those, so it looks like this, one of those things. And I think I've said before, I got this from Lidl, so if you keep your eye open, they do have things like this from time to time. But the biggest one of these is actually smaller than the hole, and I do want it to match. So what I'm going to use is, this is a little hole puncher thing. I got this years ago. It was in a little kit of little mini sellotape and stuff, and it's just for putting holes in a punch that you'd put in a normal ring binder. So I think I'm going to use that, and I've taken the cover off because I want to see exactly where it's going through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over there, and when this lines up perfectly with that hole, I know I've got it in the right place. Now this is quite tricky because this isn't designed for this kind of job, and so there's not much space for 2 pieces of card there, and I've had to really waggle it in, but I think that's going to be fine. Just try not to damage the washi tape while I'm pulling it off. There we go. So that's looking really good. Oh, I've actually put it in the wrong place. Okay, I'm going to have the the flowers on the top. I meant to do it the other way around, but that'll be fine. I can put some stickers on there to make it look nice. Okay, so that's great. Now what I think I'm going to do is use some alphabets. I've got these. I got these from Hema in London, or Hema. It's a Dutch firm. They do gorgeous stickers, and they're not expensive. I've used a lot of these, so I'll just get, whoops, some opens at the bottom. Sorry for the crinkling. Oh, the sheet's already been started. Let's see how far we get with this. So I'm just going to put the letters of grace on here because that's what the section is. Now with a word that's longish, I want it to go in the middle of the space. So it's G-R-A-C-E. So A is the middle letter, so I'll just put that in the middle to start with, and then I can get the placement right. There we go. So that's roughly the middle. So just pop those on, and they're not going to be exactly straight, but that doesn't matter. Just put those along there like that. And you can see in my last video how I'm going about using the different verses and how I'm kind of adding little pictures to them with various significance at times and things like that. So really however you do it is entirely up to you. And what I'm loving about the Facebook group is seeing what different people are doing. If you're not on that group, do join us. It's really inspiring to see what different members of the community come up with using the materials from Bible Journaling UK. And it's one of my favourite things, actually, when I make kits and send them out, to see what people do with them. And it's a closed group, so just follow the link below and sign up, and that you have to answer 3 or 4 questions, and then I'll let you in. So, and then you can share your pictures of what you're doing, and you can also see what everyone else is up to. So that's great. So that's the grace section. Now, what you can see here is that I haven't finished covering the cover yet. And this is the scrapbook paper that I used for the covers. And that's the back cover. I just cut this off some publicity material for Bible Journaling UK. And I used these little ladybird sticky notes that come in one of the packs, the ladybird decoration pack that's on the website, just as a bit of extra decor. But I think on the back here, I really just want to use the same scrapbook paper, and then I may go back later and put some image on, or I might write the verse from Psalm 119 that is on the card that comes with the kit. Now, the thing about this is that this is already quite thick, and you could see me really struggling to get the 2 pieces of paper, cardy paper, into that. And I know that by the time I stick this on here, there's no way I'll be able to get it into that. So what I'm going to do is, before I start, I'm actually just going to put the hole through the piece of paper, and it's roughly, let's put it up a bit and I'll show you why I'm doing it like that. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, done. So what I'm going to do now is line it up so that the holes are together, and that way I'm not trying to use this as a guide while the 2 are stuck together, because I know that they won't fit on there. So that's great. I can now line that up perfectly. And I just need a bit of glue. I think I'm going to use some wet glue for this, actually, because I want it to go right to the edges. Excuse me, I'm just going to get a little glue spreader so I can get it really even. Whoops, spilt some on my desk, so I don't want too much of the glue. And I'm going to spread it around with a glue spreader. Getting glue everywhere here, as usual. And just get it to the edges, because I don't want this to be coming off the card. I want it to stick really nicely. And the other good thing about this is, if you end up with too much glue, then you can wipe it off onto a tissue with your glue spreader. There we go. I did wonder actually about coming in after I'd done the covers and painting the whole thing with some Mod Podge, just to make it a little bit stronger, because I am carrying it around the whole time, and a little bit of the wooden flower on the front has actually come off, but it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so that's probably a little bit on the too much glue side, but I think it'll be all right. So I'm going to line that up with the hole. And I hope you can see that that's pretty much exactly lined up. And I've stuck these little embellishments on. They come from the little embellishment pack, which comes in a little bag, and you get a few bits and pieces, and there's some little wooden bees in there as well, and assorted bows and wooden shapes and things. And it's a bit of a lucky dip, but they all have the ladybirds and the bees in them. So that's where I got these bits from, and as I say, I'll leave the link, but you can use anything. A button would be quite cute, or if you've got any little embellishmenty pieces lying around, like some little gems or something like that, you can add those. And I just like the dimensional aspect of it, because actually the whole thing is quite dimensional with its binding ring and all the rest. Now, I've made it a bit difficult for myself here because of the little wooden flower, but I think that's going to be okay. So I'm just trimming it, and because I'm right-handed, it's much easier to trim it anti-clockwise. And I'm using the edge of the card as the guideline for my scissors. And that makes a much neater edge than if I tried to cut it to size before I glued it. I would find it much harder to get it exactly right. Now you can see I've slightly fudged it there, and I've slightly over trimmed it, but I could stick some washi tape over that so nobody would know. There we go. And I'm just not going to put this through the corner punch because it is a bit too thick now. So I'm just trimming it with the scissors. Excellent. Right, so that's now my cover, double-sided. I've been meaning to do that for ages. So I'm going to pop that on. Brilliant. So I've got my cover, got my section on Grace. I will put something there at some point, but I'm not sure what yet. I'll put something there. I'll do another video or post some pictures on Facebook group so you can see what I end up doing. So there we go. And I now need the divider section for Mercy. So very quickly I'm going to do that. And I think I might be going to use that one there, which I already have as a little offcut from another project. Yeah, I think I will just use this because I'll add some stickers to it. And I'm feeling Grace is going to end up being quite floral as a section. So it's nice to have a plainish background that I'll add a few things to, and I might add some words to it as well. Now I'm hoping once again that I can get the punch on this, but it's quite tricky actually because this is just designed for a thin piece of copy paper. No, that's not going to work. Okay, well the other thing you can do, of course, is just get a pencil. And sorry, I just kicked the camera. Just get a pencil. I'm just going to, so I want this exactly lined up. Just going to go like that. Then I can stick that through there. Line it up. Perfect. Brilliant. That is not quite straight, so I'll just go back and trim that a bit better. Great, and then through the corner punch again. And I've got my Mercy divider coming along now. I'll do these for the other sections as well, which are forgiveness, joy, guidance, and strength. Have I missed one out? Let's see. Yeah, that's right. 4 more because they're 6 sections altogether. Now, which way up am I going to have that? I might have that way. And what I've got here is some of the stickers from the little washi sticker packs that I've got on the website. And I really am loving using these. I'll leave the link to all the stickers below. And I think I'm going to have that there. That comes from the Flamingo selection, which has got all sorts of sort of random things. And I think I'm going to put one of my washi tapes around the edge. So when you get the pack, you get 3 little washi tapes, and I've been keeping mine just in this tin. And I'm going to use this one. So the washi tapes that you get are assorted, so different people have different ones, but each set has got a gold foiled one and then 2 non-foiled ones, 2 sort of more matte ones, and they're all different colours and designs, and it just means that you can use them as edgings if you want to. Although actually I did recently just doodle an edge, which was that one there, and I was really pleased with how that turned out and I enjoyed doing it. So you don't have to use washi tape, you don't even have to edge stuff if you don't want to, but I like to do that. I like the look of it. and it just kind of breaks up the card a bit. I hope I'm doing all this in shot. Sorry, I think that went out of shot there. There we go, and you can leave a little edge between the washi and the card or not. And I'm just going to clip the corners there to keep the roundedness. Actually, I'm wondering if that might look nicer next to that as the inside. And I might just use these geometric shapes for Mercy. So let me get my alphas again. Now you don't need to use stickers for this. You could cut I want that R in the middle. You could cut the letters out of old magazines or newspapers or whatever. And again, Kirsten showed us how she'd been cutting up old programs that she'd kept for years and I think was clearing out. And so she'd cut they had some really interesting fonts and she'd cut them up, and you can see how she used those on her dividers and they looked great. That was in the Facebook group. So yeah, I'm just going to put these letters at slightly different heights to cover up the fact that I'm not getting them in a straight line. I'm going to make it look deliberate. I like doing that. You know, if something's not working perfectly, then make it look deliberate. So I'll just maybe pop that one up there. And then we'll bring it back down with the Y at the end. That's it, God's mercy coming down to earth where we are, because it's available to us. And then I think what I want to do is just... Actually, do you know what? I'm going to put that on the grace section, because for me, the whole kind of crafty thing that those brushes and pencils signify is God's grace to me, and it is such a complete blessing to me that I'm able to study his word through creativity, and it just has really transformed the way I interact with scripture, having this practice of creativity. And so I really want to celebrate that as I'm thinking about God's grace. This whole way of interacting with God, of praying and of looking at scripture, is God's real grace to me. The emphasis on colour and image, and how freeing that is, and how much fun it is just to be able to pray with all these beautiful things around me that get me in touch with the beauty of God and of his abundance. And one of the verses in the first section of this is about abundance, and I was really struck by it when I was looking at it earlier this week, just how abundant God is in the way that he relates to us. So I'm just going to pop that there, and then I will come back and write something next to it after I've just thought more about it. So that's God's grace. Right, so we've now got that section complete with all 5 verses, and here's mercy. And I think the thing I'm going to put for mercy is a plant, which is also from the Flamingo set, and that plant is producing hearts, and I think that is a really great symbol of God's mercy, that he allows us to keep growing, and that our growth as Christians, our spiritual growth, is not stunted even when we get it wrong. And there's some wonderful verses about that in this section. And because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ even when we were dead in transgressions. So this plant is alive with Christ, and that's a really good picture for the mercy. So I will go through this and I will make the rest of the dividers. I won't do it on camera because I think this video is quite long enough. And I'll give you a little flip through at the beginning of the next video and show you what I do for the other sections, which of course I haven't done all the verses for yet, but I'm thinking I'll get all the dividers in place and then I can enjoy working through the different sections with those there. So thank you very much for watching, And I hope that if you've got the kit, you're really enjoying using it, and that you're being kind to yourself about the 30-day thing, because we can't manage always to do it every day. We may have set ourselves that challenge, but sometimes things don't work out how we planned. So as I said on the card here, if you miss a day, just do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. And hope you really enjoy just wandering around through life with these verses in your pocket. I have to say I'm finding it very helpful myself. So love to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye bye.